Long ago, in the land of Israel, there was a king named Ahab. He lived in a big palace, wore royal clothes, and ruled over many people. But even though he was king, he often made poor choices. One day, King Ahab married a princess named Jezebel. She came from another country called Sidon. In her homeland, people did not worship the one true God. Instead, they worshipped a false god named Baal. When Jezebel moved to Israel, she did not change her beliefs. Instead, she tried to change everyone else's. She told the people to stop worshiping the true God and to worship Baal instead. She built temples for Baal and hired many prophets who told people to follow him. This made God very sad. Israel was supposed to follow him, but now many people were confused and began following Jezebel's ways. There was a brave prophet named Elijah who loved God very much. A prophet is someone who shares messages from God. Elijah saw that the people were turning away from God, so he went to King Ahab and gave him a strong message. Elijah said, "There will be no rain in Israel until God says so." Now, this was a very serious warning. In those days, rain was very important. Without rain, crops would not grow. Without crops, people would have no food. And guess what? It stopped raining. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Months turned into years. For 3 whole years, there was no rain. The land became dry. Rivers shrank. Food became scarce. But Jezebel did not change her mind. Instead, she became angry at Elijah and wanted to hurt him. She even tried to stop God's prophets from speaking the truth. After 3 years, Elijah told King Ahab to gather all the people and the prophets of Baal on a mountain called Mount Carmel. Elijah wanted to show everyone who the real God was. Here was the plan. 2 altars would be built, 1 altar for Baal, 1 altar for the true God. Each side would put a sacrifice on their altar, but no one would light a fire. The God who answered by sending fire from heaven would be the true God. The prophets of Baal went first. They shouted, they danced, they called out to Baal all morning long, but nothing happened. No fire, no answer, no sound. Then it was Elijah's turn. He repaired God's altar. He placed the sacrifice on it. To make it even harder, he poured water all over it, so much water that it filled a trench around the altar. Then Elijah prayed a simple prayer, asking God to show his power. Suddenly, fire came down from heaven. It burned up the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and even the water. The people were amazed. They fell to the ground and said, "The Lord is God." It was a powerful moment. Everyone saw the truth. But Jezebel was still angry. Instead of being sorry, she sent a message to Elijah saying she would harm him. Elijah had to run away for a time because she was so upset. Later, another sad thing happened. King Ahab saw a vineyard, a beautiful field of grapes, that belonged to a man named Naboth. The king wanted it for himself. He offered to buy it, but Naboth said no because it was land that belonged to his family for many years. King Ahab went home upset. He lay on his bed and refused to eat. When Jezebel saw him, she asked what was wrong. After he told her, she said, "You are the king. You can take it." Jezebel made a terrible plan. She told lies about Naboth and had false witnesses accuse him of doing something wrong. Because of those lies, Naboth was punished and died. Then King Ahab took the vineyard. This made God very angry. He sent Elijah to tell Ahab and Jezebel that they would be judged for their wickedness. Years later, Ahab died in battle, just as God had warned. Jezebel continued living in the palace for some time. One day, a new leader named Jehu came to bring justice to the land. When Jezebel heard he was coming, she dressed up and looked out from the palace window. She still acted proud and fearless, but her time had come. The people who once served her turned against her. She fell from the palace window, and her life ended just as God had said it would. Jezebel's story is a serious one. It teaches us important lessons. First, it shows us that following the wrong path can hurt many people. Jezebel's choices did not only affect her, they affected a whole nation. Second, it reminds us that telling lies and being unfair brings trouble in the end. What happened to Naboth was wrong, and God saw it. Third, it teaches us that God is patient, but he cares about justice. Even if it takes time, right and wrong do matter. And finally, this story reminds us that we should choose humility instead of pride. Jezebel refused to say sorry or change her ways. Pride kept her from turning back. We may not be kings or queens, but our choices still matter. When we choose honesty, kindness, and faith, we bring good into the world. When we choose selfishness or lies, we cause harm. The story of Queen Jezebel helps us remember to stay close to what is right and to listen when God teaches us. Thank you so much for listening to this Bible story. If you enjoyed it, share it with your friends and family. And remember, every choice you make, can help you grow into someone kind, brave, and faithful.